Welcome inside the O'Connell Center here in Gainesville, Florida, where tonight the Florida Gators at 5-3 in conference play host to the Razorbacks at 4-4. Total look at the standings shows us two teams on the rise in conference play. A&M right now leading everybody, but still plenty of wiggle room for teams like the Gators and the Razorbacks. It all begins tonight, and two teams that are right now playing some very good basketball. This is just the other day against Texas A&M. Moses Kingsley, another double-double. Hannes with a key shot near the end of the game, and Arkansas would pull off the upset at home. And then the Florida Gators against a top 10 West Virginia team. Dorian Finney-Smith rattled off 24 points, and the Gators pull off a stunner, a 17-point blowout over the Mountaineers of West Virginia. Joe Dean Jr., Mike Morgan with you. And Joe, these are two teams on the right track right now.
Michael White's a rising star in college basketball, over 100 wins as the head coach at Louisiana Tech, first year for the Gators. And on the other sideline is Mike Anderson, highly successful coach in his 13th year, 5th year at Arkansas last year, led them to 27 wins and a berth in the Sweet 16.
The Gators have been nearly unbeatable at home. Arkansas has really been plagued by problems on the road, something the Arkansas Razorbacks know they have to change if they're going to get into the tournament discussion. Opening tip controlled by the Razorbacks, dressed in black, Florida and white. We're underway here from Gainesville, Florida.
Both teams very athletic, a lot of quickness, and defense will be a key tonight because both teams love to run, press, and score. Arkansas leads the SEC in scoring.
Shot clock at 7 for Durham, the point guard. Now under 5, Durham probing, firing, and missing wildly off the glass. A tough shot, and the rebound goes to Chiozza. Finney-Smith takes it strong and banks it home.
Poor job defensively that time by Arkansas, getting back and shutting down that drive by Dorian Finney-Smith, one of the top players in the SEC, a senior.
This is Kingsley, one of the top big men in the SEC. Boy, has he elevated his play.
Well, Mike, last year as a sophomore, he averaged 3.5 points, 2 rebounds a game. This year, 16 points, over 9 rebounds a game. He has really stepped it up in his junior season.
First foul of the game goes on Florida, offensive foul. There you see Mike White in his first year after having tremendous success at Louisiana Tech. One of the few coaches in all of college basketball who led his team to 3 consecutive conference championships. The Bulldogs were enjoying some success in Ruston before he departed for Gainesville. Off a curl, Bell. Down low to Kingsley, and up top, this is Hannes, one of the top 3-point demons in the league, has it stripped out of bounds. It'll be Arkansas basketball with 17 to shoot.
Mike White commented about Hannes today at the shoot-around that he's a better athlete than people give him credit for. Quick first step. If you crowd him, he's an outstanding 3-point shooter right at 46%.
Strong take and an and one. That is Manny Watkins, son of the assistant coach. Watkins not known for his offense, but a great drive here.
Brings a lot of energy. You mentioned his father, Melvin Watkins, who played in the 1977 Final Four for UNC Charlotte. And this young man is a tough, strong, physical player who brings energy and enthusiasm to the Razorbacks.
Foul was on Rimmer. 3-point play for Arkansas. And you see Justin Leon, who was out for that game against West Virginia, was a little banged up. He's back. And this is going to be a key throughout the game. How will Florida attack that full court pressure from Arkansas?
Here comes the trap. Every time they get you on a sideline, they're looking to trap you against the sideline or the half-court line.
Sometimes it leads to easy baskets, but Casey Hill could not finish the easy basket. Meanwhile, down low, there is the jump hook shot from Moses Kingsley, the 6'10 Nigerian.
Numbers here.
Allen down low, and the layup is good for Rimmer.
Good job on the 2-on-1. Kayvon Allen, the young man from Little Rock, drove it at the goal and created an easy layup for Rimmer.
Hannes on an open tray. Out of bounds, off of Durham. It'll be Gator basketball.
Yeah, pushing the ball down the floor and right inside Kingsley over Rimmer. Rimmer can't handle the big fella from Nigeria that deep. And the nice right-hand jump hook, a marked improvement in his game.
Quick three on the way for Kayvon Allen as the reigning SEC Freshman of the Week. Poked away and back into the hands of Arkansas. Durham spots up and lines up a wide open three. And that'll be a foul. Knifing in for the rebound was Watkins, and he'll be whistled for the foul.
Jabrell Durham is the leading assist man in the SEC, but not noted as a three-point shooter, only 26%. They're leaving him open, and Arkansas right now basically playing with 4 guards and Moses Kingsley inside. So a quick team that's going to press, and a good ball handling team from Mike Anderson's Razorbacks.
They bring up a good point on Durham. You got to pick your poison. Arkansas as a team shoots 42% from downtown. That leads the SEC. Backdoor cut and off the hands of Rimmer. It'll be Arkansas ball.
Rimmer was open, but Dorian Finney-Smith did not throw the lead pass away from the defender, and Kingsley was able to get a piece of it and knock it off Rimmer to give the Hogs the basketball.
Gators are not afraid to apply a little full court pressure, as you see Allen hounding Durham in the backcourt. Bell had it poked away from behind by Allen. It's a special game for Kayvon Allen. 2-time Arkansas Player of the Year out of Little Rock, just a freshman. A lot of people thought when Billy Donovan left for the NBA that Allen would switch his commitment to Arkansas. He did not. Finney-Smith steals it. Here come the Gators with numbers. And Finney-Smith on the finish.
Well, that's the way to run the fast break. Keep the basketball moving away from the defense. A nice 3-on-2, and Rimmer with the quick touch pass for the Dorian Finney-Smith layup.
And Allen on a save into the hands of Chiozza. Chiozza full throttle, takes it on the big man and missed it. Out of bounds, Florida basketball.
Skylar Rimmer, a hustle player for the Gators. Watch the fast break. Here are the numbers. Pass, touch pass for the easy layup by Dorian Finney-Smith. Great job by the 6'10", 245-pound junior out of Orlando, Skylar Rimmer. Again, a transfer from Stanford.
Francis Ramirez, who played so well in that win over West Virginia, now in the game, gets the ball up top. Chiozza, that's a long, dangerous alley-oop pass in traffic, and it winds up back into the hands of Chiozza.
That's a set play that Florida worked on this morning. The back screen on the baseline, looking to throw the lob, that time to Robinson.
Chiozza can't connect, but there's an offensive rebound. Rimmer wheeling and dealing, and a whistle before the shot. The foul is on Arkansas. Frenetic pace to start this one. Razorbacks up 7-6 from Gainesville. Great crowd on hand here at the O'Connell Center. The Razorbacks off to a 7-6 lead. The Rowdy Reptiles enjoying the action thus far here at the O'Connell Center. Two guys not quite as rowdy, Joe Dean Jr. and Mike Morgan. At least I'm speaking for myself on that one. But Joe, so far a good start to this ball game. Again, this is February now. The game's become a little more meaningful, and for both these teams, they want to stay hot.
Well, they do. Arkansas is coming off 2 really tough road losses at LSU and at Georgia in overtime. So getting hot early, off to the quick start, is important for Mike Anderson's team.
One of the things these two teams have in common, they love the full court press, particularly for Arkansas. That's one of the keys to their game as we take a look at Fast Analysis, brought to you by AT&T.
Arkansas is going to try to trap you quickly and force a quick pass and then get the ball in the hands of a big man. There it is. He's not a great ball handler. The overplay forces the turnover. The Razorbacks turn those turnovers into great points, and you see 3rd in the country in the percentage of times during the basketball game that they like to press. Of course, Bob Huggins' Press Virginia leads that list, but the Razorbacks and the Gators are both cut out of the same cloth. Pressure, attack, aggressive, offensively and defensively.
And of course, the flip side of that is the more you press, the more easy baskets you give up, kind of like blitzing in football. And you saw that with West Virginia the other night against this Gator team. They broke that press time in and time out. and got a lot of easy baskets and open threes in the process.
Well, you got to remember, when you're being trapped and you throw out of that trap, now they're 4 against 3. If you can attack the basket with numbers and make good passes and decisions, you can score easy layups.
Speaking of attacking, the Gators now will try to attack a zone implemented by the Razorbacks. Shot clock to 7. Chiozza passing it from his knees and finds a cutting Finney Smith.
And a great job by Finney Smith to hide himself on the baseline. And when Chiozza penetrated, he just cut right under the goal. Nobody picked him up. Easy layup for the Gators.
6 points for the senior out of Portsmouth, Virginia. 3 ball from Bell off the mark. So far, Arkansas 0 for 3 from behind the arc. Again, the #1 3-point shooting team. Finney Smith wheels. Rifle pass to Rimmer. Hook shot off, tapped up. And into the hands of Francis Ramirez. Chiozza on a deep 3. And then a foul on Florida.
Well, the point guard for the Gators, Chris Chiozza, is really starting to come into his own as the point guard, and you see the nice penetration against the Arkansas zone, and give credit to Dorian Finney-Smith on the cut to make himself available for that pass and the layup.
Foul was on Robinson. That's his first. Finney-Smith, 6 double-doubles this year, including 3 in a row. He's the first Gator to accomplish that feat since Chandler Parsons, now enjoying life in the NBA.
A little full court pressure now by Florida. Mike White told us today that he was a little bit nervous about pressing Arkansas with the 4 guards, great ball handlers and shooters. Doesn't want to give any easy looks to Bell and Hannes.
Bell with a good look there, throws up a brick. Finney Smith, couple of jab steps, and a kick out to Robinson. Swings it over to Hill. Shot clock now under 10. Hill sees it. And then a foul down the low away from the ball.
Now that was a bailout right there. Arkansas, great defensive possession, and to foul inside of 5 on the shot clock is a bailout and gives the Gators new life on this possession.
That was on Trey Thompson. Checking in for Arkansas, Jimmy Witt, a 6'4" freshman by way of Columbia, Missouri.
Here comes the trap. Second pass out of the trap usually creates a basket or an opportunity, and that time Brandon Francis Ramirez, the redshirt freshman out of the Dominican Republic. A great game against West Virginia on Saturday. He hit 3 for 3 from outside the 3-point line.
Yeah, he was 2 for 32
going into that.
Going into that game. Did not hit anything from downtown, and then went nuts against the Mountaineers. Everybody for the Gators had a good game against West Virginia.
Florida has not started tonight. John Egbunu, who is normally the starting center, 6'11", 250 from Nigeria. And we have yet to see him. Michael White choosing to go with some other players who he feels like have practiced well of late.
That's the first bucket for Dusty Hannes, the 6th leading scorer in the SEC, averaging 17 a game. Wow. Wicked crossover and stuff for Finney Smith.
Wow. That's as good as it gets from a 6'7" small forward. The quick crossover just nailed the defender and the drive right to the rim. Great job by the guy they call Dodo, Dorian Finney-Smith.
Dodo has 8 of the Gators' 10 points. Witt, another one, and this time Witt connects from short range.
Jimmy Witt was the highest rated recruit for Mike Anderson's team from Columbia, Missouri, you mentioned, and is not really coming to his own this year, but a guy with a lot of talent, 6'4" freshman.
A quick timeout called by the Florida Gators. 1-point game here from Gainesville. Our SEC basketball doubleheader continues tonight at 9 Eastern with the SEC's leading scorer, and I might add one of the most exciting players in college basketball, Stephen Moody, and Ole Miss matched up with Mizzou. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. How about the last play by Finney Smith?
Well, you know, the ball handling skills of a guy who's listed at 6'8", 210 pounds. He's out of Portsmouth, Virginia. Watch this cross right here. This is unbelievable. Bam! Just left him standing. Trey Thompson right around him. And you saw Mike Anderson at the timeout really getting after Trey Thompson for the lack of defense. But that's one of those plays, Mike, you just kind of have to applaud and say, that's too good.
Exactly.
That's too good.
Gators down by a point with the basketball. Still no Egbunu, as you mentioned, not starting today. Marius Hayes just outplayed him in practice, according to Coach White. Egbunu is one of the more physical presences in the Southeastern Conference. We were looking forward to a matchup with him and Kingsley down low, two big Nigerians banging bodies, but we haven't seen that yet. As Chiozza goes to the free throw line, foul on Witt, that's his first.
We were kind of interested at the matchup of those two guys, Kingsley and Egbunu, that you mentioned, what language they would be talking in their trash talk around the rim. There he is. Big fella, been starting most of the year, 6'11", 255, and averaging over 10 points a game and 6.5 rebounds. We'll see him soon.
Still in the warm-ups right now. Maybe a little message being sent, trying to ignite a little spark with Egbunu.
Here comes the first trap of the game in the full court by Florida, trying to get Jimmy Witt to give it up to the big fella. Now you got it in the hands of a weaker ball handler, but Anton Beard does a nice job of saving the day out front.
Beard with 7 to shoot.
Good ice right there. Look at that.
Turns it over, and Chiozza off and running with the finish. This is Bell. And a whistle. Hayes got the block, but also got him with the body.
Michael White teaches a lot on ball screens to ice the ball handler, keep him on the sideline, and that allowed Chiozza to shoot the gap and lay it in. The Gators lead by 3.
SEC Network Basketball is brought to you by Shelter Insurance. For your auto, home, and life, we're your shield, we're your shelter. And by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Mike Morgan, Joe Dean Jr., Albert, Alberta, enjoying life outside. Great crowd inside at the O'Connell Center. Gators out to a 3-point lead. That makes Coach Mike White happy. Coach Mike White wired tonight as we listen in.
Offensively, turnovers. Be careful on charges. Be careful on charges. Okay, we almost got a couple of them. It was smart, though. Be under control, come to jump stops. You guys catch your breath, get hydrated. Defensively, straight line drives and talking. You got a hand on that because you guys won't talk. He's wide open on the back cut because we won't talk. Communicate, open up your mouth, get out of your comfort zone. Let's go.
Well, Joe Dean Jr., nobody has ever accused us of not being able to talk. We've been known to talk too much, but very important for his players to communicate.
No question, Mike. Very impressive, the things he's saying right there. Told him, first off, get hydrated. I mean, he's a nutritionist. He's a psychologist. He's a motivator. And he wants them to communicate because when they're setting back screens, the guy that's being screened can't see the back screen. He needs his defender to talk to him, tell him about it, and help him out.
We hear more coaches talk about that, the lack of communication with today's player. Alley-oop pass, again in traffic, flagged down by Finney Smith.
If they could text it out here on the floor, they would get it, but they can't text on the floor.
If they could tweet out, help. No texting when you're driving. That's right. Social media can't play a role during the game. Finney Smith, right now he's tweeting out, I'm on fire. He's got 11.
Dorian Finney-Smith, one of the top players in the SEC, having a great senior season and a leader for the Gators. Motors running all the time.
Backdoor cut, just what Coach White was talking about. but no finish at the rim by Keaton Miles.
Really good rebound right there in traffic by Justin Leon, the young man from Conway, Arkansas.
Down low, and Rimmer had it too close. Missed it. Gators get it back. Chio's on the save. Pull-up jumper. Too strong, and Witt hauls it in for the Razorbacks. Bell on a three. Got it.
And you see the great job of transition basketball. Push the ball quickly down the floor before the defense can get set. Put your weak side player, the great shooter, Anthon Bell, in position to knock down the three-point shot.
Now that is the first three for Arkansas. Bell and Hannas alone have combined for 119 threes. Top duo in the SEC, and they're not just volume shooters. They're hitting at 46% from downtown.
Yeah, that's remarkable to have two guys that shoot it right at 46%. Not many teams in America have shooters like that.
Yeah, you're not going to impress me if you hit a bunch of threes, but you're shooting 28%. Some guys do.
Yeah, absolutely. And they do a great job. Mike Anderson told us today that the leading SEC man in assists this year, Jabril Durham, does a great job getting those guys the ball.
Great job on a pull-up shot by Kayvon Allen, the young man from Little Rock, Arkansas. His first bucket.
Yeah, you've got two guys on the floor right now. Kayvon Allen, who just made the three, and Anton Beard, the point guard with the ball. Both played at North Little Rock High School and won a state championship together back in 2014.
Strong take by Beard. He's still out of sync after joining the team midway through after the suspension. Finney Smith. Count the basket. Relentless Dorian Finney-Smith tonight.
Well, good job by the Gators in transition, but Arkansas just slow getting back. Nobody steps in front. On one pass, they allow Finney-Smith to get all the way to the backboard. That's just not real good defensive transition by the Hogs.
6 of 6 from the field and 13 points for Dorian Finney-Smith. And yeah, Mike Anderson has some words to say.
There's no question what he's talking about right there is we're lazy getting back in transition and getting our defense set 5 against 5. You can't allow a guy just to dribble it right down the floor into a layup situation.
14 now for Finney-Smith. He'll get a much-deserved breather on the bench as the Gators lead now swells to 8.
Gators winning this game against a good Arkansas team who's athletic without their big fella, John Egbunu. Still has not been in the game tonight.
That's a special move right there by Anthon Bell, starting to heat up. Bell entered tonight's game 14 points shy of 1,000.
Great pressure by Arkansas here. Look at this. Look at this.
Durham on a steal, and Durham on a finish.
It doesn't get any better than that, ladies and gentlemen. That is attacking pressure defense. The trap at half court created the easy layup.
Gators have tried 3 alley-oops tonight. Not one of them has been successful. Now Kingsley in transition. He is fouled by Allen. This is more to the liking of Arkansas's pace. Back and forth. The defense causing some offense.
Well, Nolan Richardson called it 40 minutes of hell, and this is what he's talking about. Watch the trap come right at the half-court line. The knockaway, denial defense, and here comes Jabril Durham, the left-handed bank shot for the deuce for the Hogs.
Meanwhile, Kingsley to the free throw line. Kingsley, one of 6 players from Power 5 schools, averaging over 16 points a game and over 9 rebounds a game. He has been so effective. Of course, they lost Bobby Portis to the NBA. Michael Qualls left early. He was not drafted, not on a roster right now.
We talked about the improvement, and Mike Anderson commented today about Moses Kingsley, as that's what juniors are supposed to do. Right. Bobby Portis leaves, he steps right in and continues the production that he got from Portis.
Hill hanging and hitting, plus the foul.
One thing about pressure defense, sometimes it allows straight line drives. Arkansas not rotating over in help position to shut down the drives, and the Gators are getting the ball all the way to the backboard much too often for Mike Anderson's liking.
Good play for the former McDonald's All-American, whose career has been kind of a roller coaster in Gainesville. Gators back up by 6. Kingsley had the pass deflected and finally stolen away into the hands of Hill. Shake and bake, cutting to the basket, and then a huge block by Kingsley.
A foul away from the ball, and it was on Kingsley, I believe. And that's unfortunate because he made a great block, and the Hogs were going to have it going down the other way with numbers. But I'm not sure exactly what happened because we were watching the basketball.
Right. Well, and there was a delayed whistle. It was clean on the block. At least initially it was. Meanwhile, the southpaw Justin Leon hits the first free throw.
Yeah, we mentioned Justin Leon. Let's see if we can watch it. Watch 33. There's the block. Now, here comes the block next. Right there. It's going to give Arkansas numbers. Yeah, he got him with the body and knocked him down. A delayed whistle by the official Doug Sermons, but the correct call. Again, young man Justin Leon, junior college transfer. He's from Conway, Arkansas. Of course, that's the home of Hendrix College. Outstanding Division III program in the Southern Athletic Association.
Way to work that one in, Joe Dean Jr. So smooth. 8-point lead for the Gators. Annis has been quiet, drawing a lot of attention on the perimeter. Durham.
Nice double right there.
Durham on an open 3, and a great two-man game there. Durham to Kingsley and back to Durham.
That's a bonus 3 for the Razorbacks. Durham's only a 26% three-point shooter.
Knocked out of bounds. It will be a 27-22 lead for the Gators with 7:48 to play. On Thursday, we've got 2 blue chip women's games on the SEC ESPN network at 7 Eastern. It's Kentucky squaring off against Dawn Staley's #2 Gamecocks. Then at 9, Victoria Vivians leads the Bulldogs in the battle with LSU at the Maravich Center. Alongside former SEC player and coach Joe Dean Jr. I'm Mike Morgan. Great to be with you here in Gainesville on a Wednesday night. The Gators trying to keep that momentum going after a huge win against West Virginia, the Big 12 SEC Challenge. In fact, both these teams were victorious. Arkansas defeated Texas Tech, so we've got 2 of the 3 teams that picked up a W in that Big 12 SEC event, which I think most people agree, Joe, was great for both conferences, great for the leagues, great for the fans.
It was incredible, and I applaud the SEC folks and the Big 12 folks. Of course, Mark Whitworth worked so hard on the men's basketball side of things for the Southeastern Conference, but to have it right in the middle of conference play, I thought created so much energy and awareness and enthusiasm for both leagues, but in particular the SEC. And of course, we know Mike Anderson's team beat Texas Tech. Texas A&M knocked off top 15 Iowa State, but the most impressive of the day was this win right here on this floor with the Gators knocking off 9th-ranked West Virginia by 17 points.
It really was, and I know there are no moral victories. However, you see this one come right toward us on our broadcast station.
And even more impressive because West Virginia goes to Iowa State last night and wins, which is a tough thing to do.
It certainly is, and I would add, I know it's a loss, but Kentucky taking Kansas in Allen Fieldhouse to overtime, and LSU, although they squandered it, had #1 Oklahoma down by 10 in the second half.
Well, Buddy Hield put the Oklahoma Sooners on his back the last 15 minutes, made 7 out of 9 threes to win that game in Baton Rouge.
Clear path to the basket for Anton Beard out of North Little Rock, his first bucket.
I really like Anton Beard. He had some problems in the preseason, did not play in the first 9 games of the season, and is now starting to kind of get his motor running the way he did last year as an outstanding freshman for Mike Anderson.
Hill in the corner. Measures up a three and rattles it home.
Casey Hill is a junior, Umatilla, Florida. High school All-American. And not been a great scorer for the Gators. When he can make threes, those are bonus points.
Durham, pump fake on the three. Shot is rejected from behind by Devin Robinson. First time we've really called his name tonight, but he's a good-looking player.
I'll tell you something, defensively for the Gators, Skylar Rimmer, the 6'10 junior, is really working hard on Moses Kingsley to keep the ball off of him, blocking him out on every shot.
Finney Smith, the rebound. We have still not seen Egbunu. We have played nearly 14 minutes. Chiozza, that's a deep two. And right now the Gators are hitting on all cylinders. 6 points for Chiozza. Quickly down the floor and beating everybody is the big man, Moses Kingsley.
Great job by the Razorbacks. That's the way they love to play. Get it in quick and blow it down the court. Have your big men run right down Main Street for the easy layup.
In and out for Hill. Watkins on the push. A foul before Kingsley got it, and now we will finally see John Egbunu, the transfer from South Florida, check in. One of the issues he's had has been foul trouble. In fact, both big men tonight have had issues with that. You see frequency of fouls for Kingsley started off one every 6 minutes and 48 seconds. He has kind of dialed it back. Egbunu, that's been an issue really the last 3 games of late, getting into foul trouble.
It has, Mike, and we'll watch that closely. But you've got 2 guys that are both about the same size, right at 6'11", right at 250, both from Nigeria, and both have a lot of ability.
Hannes still without a 3-point basket, but Arkansas gets a fresh one, and here's Hannes again. Wow, 2 good looks for one of the premier shooters in this league.
He has not been able to get on track yet for Arkansas. And speaking of Arkansas, there's Justin Leon, the Arkansas native, who's shooting over 50% from 3 in SEC games.
Largest lead for the Gators, up by 9. Watkins, a runner. Kingsley on a tap. Kingsley gets it back to Watkins. No, and there's Hannes on the weak side with the stick back.
3 dark shirts. I'm not sure what color that is. Is that gray?
I'm going to call it off gray.
Off gray. Charcoal. We're on the offensive glass, pounding the board to get that easy stick back for the Hogs.
Shot clock at 9 for Chiozza. Now down to 5. Working one-on-one on Hannes. Launching a 3, and there's Kingsley, top floor for the rebound. Into the hands of Durham.
Good defensive pressure that time. Got a bad shot selection from the Gators and got the first shot rebound. That's what Mike Anderson's looking to do out of his defense and on the backboards.
5th turnover of the game for Arkansas. With 4:13 to go, and the Gators up by 7. Mike Anderson, you know, we asked him point blank, and I know it's a sensitive subject about not winning on the road. The difference between home and road has been pretty dramatic in his 5 years with the Razorbacks. Obviously, everybody plays better at home, but Arkansas has been so good at home, and yet the efforts have been so futile on the road that it's hard not to think about that when you start putting this team into context. There's a steal for the Razorbacks.
That's a great point. And of course, when you lose Bobby Portis and Michael Qualls, Ja'Cory Williams also left the team. That's a lot of production that Mike Anderson has had to fill with this young team.
7-point lead for the Gators, 3:53 to go. SEC Network Basketball is brought to you by Allegra Gel Caps. Not just fast, Allegra Fast starts working in 1 hour. Use as directed. Oh, they play some college basketball, but they've got some great football in these parts as well. The fax machine, always a key part of National Signing Day. Great coverage today by our gang in Charlotte. Tom Luginbill and company on ESPNU, ESPN2, SEC Network. See how the Gators did. A top 15 ranking, the number 12 recruiting class. Got themselves a good defensive end, wide receiver, Tyree Cleveland. That was a late commit today, announcing his desire to go to Gainesville as the Gators will enter year number 2 under Coach McElwain and company.
Tyree Cleveland, the 4th best wide receiver in the country from Houston, as you mentioned, but grew up in Jacksonville, Florida. So he had a connection to the state of Florida and flipped his commitment. As you look at Jeremy Foley, one of the most revered and successful athletic directors in the country right there. Hired Billy Donovan 19 years ago, and now he hired a guy that I think is a lot like Billy Donovan.
Totally agree.
Overachieving point guard in college at Ole Miss, had success at a lower level and the mid-major level, Louisiana Tech. Michael White, great hire by Jeremy Foley.
I still remember being at that press conference when Billy Donovan was announced, 30-year-old Billy Donovan from Marshall. And a lot of people saying, why in the world are they hiring Billy Donovan? I don't understand it. Obviously, Jeremy Foley saw something in Billy that nobody else did, and Jeremy's certainly seeing a lot in Mike White.
Well, Mike White has got a lot of talent as a coach. Coaches like he played with a lot of energy, a lot of intensity, and really commands the effort from his players. I've had a chance to watch them practice a couple of times this year in Gainesville, and I'll tell you what, they really get after it, up and down the floor. A lot of energy, a lot of toughness.
Yeah, he looks like a Boy Scout, but he'll get after it. And we'll listen in more tonight as the game moves along. SEC Wired with Mike White.
Jeremy Foley, a graduate of Hobart College and Ohio University Graduate School, came from Ohio University here to work in the ticket office of the University of Florida Athletic Association, and worked his way all the way through to become the athletic director, and a unabashed Boston Red Sox fan.
He is unabashed. And he'll have his hard hat on the offseason. There's going to be a lot of renovations done to this arena in the offseason, the O'Connell Center, as the facilities continue to be upgraded on every SEC campus. 7-point cushion for the Gators. Arkansas trying to get something going here in the final 3 minutes. Durham with the shot clock winding down. Beautiful left-handed layup for Durham. He's got 7.
Great job on the quick first step around the bigger Justin Leon, and Kayvon Allen late getting over into help allowed him to get all the way to the basket.
Finney Smith off to a great start, but that time tagged for the offensive foul. Great position by Kouassi. Willie Kouassi, a 6'10" senior.
Willie Kouassi is an interesting story. He played on a national championship high school team in Birmingham, Central Park Christian. Signed with Auburn University, stayed a year, transferred to Kennesaw State in Marietta, just outside Marietta, Georgia, and now has transferred over to Arkansas with 1 year left to play. Originally from the Ivory Coast.
Did you ever do any recruiting in the Ivory Coast back in your day?
No, but I would have liked to, had I had the budget.
5-point game. This is Beard.
Nice cut.
And Bell will go back to the free throw line. Anthlon Bell, a senior from Memphis, Tennessee, enjoying a great season, averaging over 16 points a game.
The guys that move well without the ball usually have these kind of opportunities. Anthlon Bell used a screen away from the ball, and he curled right toward the goal and got the nice pass from Trey Thompson to get himself to the foul line.
It's amazing how good things happen when you move without the basketball. Sometimes you see too much standing around.
Absolutely. I mean, John Havlicek was a classic example from the Boston Celtics. Hondo always moving without the ball, and that's why he scored a ton of points.
Bell with 8 now. Silky smooth shooter at the line, over 80% on the year.
Here comes the pressure. This is a 2-2-1 zone trap. They're going to try to trap Florida as they come across the half-court line. And now they're dropping back. Okay. And dropping back to the zone. So zone press, back to half-court zone defense. Trying to slow Florida down.
Chioza from way downtown. And Durham is there for the board. Durham on the push, finds Bell, heating up. Bell delivers.
Wow. What a stroke. Anthlon Bell out of Memphis, Tennessee, Bartlett High School. He's a senior, and he is the second best three-point shooter in the SEC.
And he is 3 points shy of 1,000 for his career. Arkansas on a 7-0 run. Finney Smith. Kick out pass, open three from the corner. Rattles out. Again, that's not typically the Gators offense. They're near the bottom of the league in three-point percentage.
Arkansas doing a great job keeping the ball out of the lane the last several possessions and forcing tough three-point shots.
Well, Beard had a backdoor cut but could not hold on to it. Turnover number 6 on the Razorbacks. We have had 3 ties and 6 lead changes. Thought this one might come down to the wire. It's a huge game for both these teams in early February.
Well, it's really big for Florida because it's a home game. You can't afford to lose home games this time of the season, especially when Florida appears to be kind of on the NCAA bubble.
No basket. Foul down low before the shot on Kawasi. I agree with you on Florida, and I would also add in the case of Arkansas, at some point, if they're going to make a move, they've got to pick up a win on the road against a quality team like Florida.
And Mike, that's a great point. And Mike Anderson was quick to point out to us today that their last 2 road games against LSU, they had LSU beat in Baton Rouge, got beat by 2 at the end, and then lost a heartbreaker in overtime at Georgia. Georgia's a good team that just knocked off South Carolina by 13 last night. So this is an opportunity for the Razorbacks to go on the road against a quality team and get out of here with a victory.
Second free throw for Agbuno gives the Gators a 2-point lead. Under a minute to go in the first half.
Chiozza guarding Durham. These 2 guys are in the top 3 in the league in assist turnover ratio. Great floor leaders for their respective teams.
Inside Thompson, back out. Gonna have to launch one here. Durham from Ocala can't connect, and Agbuno's there for the rebound. Shot clock is off. Gators can play for the final shot of the half.
Michael White calls out the play. Going against that Arkansas zone, trying to find something close to the basket. Been hard to do against this zone.
Finney Smith misses the 3, and that's how half number 1 comes to a close. Very competitive. 3 ties, 6 lead changes, and a 2-point advantage for the Florida Gators. Moses Kingsley, a solid first half for Arkansas. 6 points, 2-point lead for the Gators. Entertaining first half, a 2-point lead for the hometown Gators here at the O'Connell Center in Gainesville, Florida. Mike Morgan with Joe Dean Jr. It's highly anticipated. It is always recognized as one of the top lists in all of athletics. It is the Dean's List. And Joe, this time out, you went with SEC coaches that were former players.
Yeah, Mike Anderson won the NIT championship in Tulsa under Nolan Richardson. Avery Johnson, only 16 years in the NBA. Kim Anderson, the 1977 Big 8 Player of the Year at Mizzou. Andy Kennedy could light it up. 318 threes on his career. And Michael White, the overachieving point guard out of New Orleans for the Ole Miss Rebels, led the Rebels to 4 straight NCAA tournaments.
The only person that's aged better than Michael White, who looks like he's about 15, would be this guy to my right, Joe Dean Jr., who's actually a little bit older than he looks. But I'd say when you look at those guys, first of all, it brings us all down memory lane to see some of those guys as players and kind of a reminder of just how good they were. you're someone who actually played the game at a high level, coached the game at a high level. How hard is that transition? Because more often than not, that does not work out.
Well, I think a lot of great players have a hard time teaching the game to guys that maybe weren't as good as they were. But Michael White was the son of a coach and an overachiever as a player. He had to think the game, he had to study the game, and figure out ways to give himself an advantage. And I think that has really helped him in his coaching, especially now in the SEC.
Yeah, very familiar with the Southeastern Conference from his days in Oxford. Speaking of Oxford, our SEC basketball doubleheader continues tonight at 9 Eastern with the boys from Oxford. Ole Miss and SEC's leading scorer Stephen Moody match up with Missouri. That game will be in Columbia. Ole Miss trying to keep their postseason hopes alive. Missouri still rebuilding under head coach Kim Anderson in his second season as we go around the Southeastern Conference. I don't know what happened because I turned it off, Joe Dean Jr. Last night, Kentucky was routing Tennessee. Give Kevin Punter and company credit. They come back and win it in Knoxville, 84-77. LSU has won 5 out of the last 6 conference games. This just in, Ben Simmons, he's pretty good. 4 teams in the RPI top 30 from the SEC, and a 6th team trying to reach that mark and get into the discussion for an NCAA tournament bid.
And the team not in the top 30 that everybody's keeping an eye on is LSU, who right now is 7-2 in the league, in 2nd place behind Texas A&M.
Dorian Finney-Smith, 14 points and 4 rebounds in half number 1. He has led the Gators to lead it by 2. Second half action about to get underway with the Gators up by 2 as we take a look at Playing with Style, brought to you by Belk. Dorian Finney-Smith, breakout first half.
He's having a tremendous first half for the Florida Gators. Watch the drive right off the jump, off the banking board for the deuce. The crossover was unbelievable, and he can step back from deep and play a little string music in the O-Dome. Dorian Finney-Smith, the star for the Gators in the first half.
We know the stars are. What are some of the keys we're looking for in half number 2, Joe?
Well, Florida's got to start shooting the ball a little better. Arkansas, will see if they stay in the zone, which was very effective the last 5 minutes of the game. The Gators could not get anything around the basket. And I think it's important that John Egbunu step up and exert himself and score and rebound a little more for the Gators here in the second half.
Egbunu will start off in the second half for the 5 on the floor in white.
And Arkansas is going to stay in the 2-3 zone. It was so effective in that first half. Mike Anderson and his staff are going to see if they can keep the ball out of the lane. And there's the block by Kingsley.
Great defense by Kingsley, his first block. And then a travel on Egbunu.
Well, that's the matchup we've been looking for. The two 6'11", 250-pound Nigerians. Moses Kingsley got the best that time of John Egbunu.
Antoine Bell had 11 points in the first half for Arkansas. Hannes.
Chiozza's done a nice job tonight on Hannes. He's been quiet offensively.
Here's Bell with 7 to shoot. Lost it, collected it. Shot clock now down to 3. Kingsley has to fire and connects with 1 on the shot clock. He's got 8, and we're tied.
I tell you, that's a tough shot, especially for a guy 6'11", to drive it with his off hand to the elbow and pull up and shoot a jumper. Impressive.
Finney-Smith picking up where he left off in the first half. The hoop and the harm.
What you have in Dorian Finney-Smith is a stretch 4-man, 6'8", who can handle it like a guard. 6'8", can get over the bigs when he gets to the rim, like the 6'11" Moses Kingsley, to finish the play and get himself to the foul line.
Career high for Finney-Smith is 25. He's already got 16.
Second team All-SEC a year ago, trying to make it first team this year as a senior.
Kingsley bellied up by Egbunu. Jump hook shot off the mark. And squirts into the hands of Watkins. Back to Kingsley, who's hammered.
Tough break right there for Florida. Dorian Finney-Smith had the rebound in his hand and just dropped it. And when he dropped the ball, It was picked up by one of the Hogs. I think it was Watkins who got it and got it to Kingsley for the shot.
Saw Mike White there just a second ago. He was fired up in our Wired segment about all 5 guys boxing out. Arkansas got a second shot there.
Well, that was really just an unforced error by the Gators that gave the ball back to Kingsley. Mike Anderson, great look at him. Former head coach at UAB, went to 3 NCAA tournaments for the Blazers, took Missouri to an Elite 8 several years ago, and last year, Sweet 16 at Arkansas.
Allen had to toss it away before he traveled on the play. Egbunu takes it strong, and it rolls off the rim. Hannah's on a 3. Can't buy it tonight. You see a great shot of Durham there saying, hang in there, young man. Last thing you want to do is tell a good shooter to stop shooting.
Well, that's right. Hannah's 0 for 4 from 3, and you see the nice opportunity right there at the rim, but Egbunu just could not finish the play. Kingsley there to contest. It's a great matchup. 2 big guys, both 6'11", both international players from Nigeria, going head-to-head.
You know, that's what you love about this Arkansas team. Again, statistically, they're outstanding because you've got a great big man in Kingsley. You lead the league in 3-point shooting. You lead the league in scoring. You lead the league in turnover margin. So people say, well, how in the world are they 11 and 10?
They've lost a lot of close games. You know, sometimes the difference between a great year and an average year is winning a lot of those close games. And you see right here, they've struggled on the road.
Well, that's the other thing. They have to win the close games on the road. They win most of them at home, but look at the last 5 years. Arkansas home versus away, very good at home. We did the math, 28% on the road, and that's a number that if you're going to make it to postseason, has to be augmented.
Well, that's true, and in fairness to Mike Anderson, his first 2 years he was in a rebuilding mode to get the Arkansas program back, and then won 5 road games, and then last year 10 and 7.
Sweeping layup by Casey Hill. He's got 8.
Casey Hill's kind of an unassuming player, not real flashy or aggressive, but just very steady. Michael White's really worked hard to try to get his motor running a little bit more.
Kingsley had it poked away from behind by Hill. And then a foul from Durham. Not a bad foul. The Gators had numbers the other way.
Yeah, watch, here's the ball screen. Now, Kingsley steps out, and when he recovers back to Egbunu, he just kind of gets lost in there and not in position to block that shot on the nice drive by Casey Hill.
Gioza, sophomore guard, sets it up inside Egbunu. Taking it strong on Kingsley. That's the matchup we were looking forward to, and we're getting it here in the second half.
When you get the high-low, a player at the high post feeding a guy at the low post, there's no way to help from the wings, and it allows isolation. Egbunu with the finish.
Bell had that shot blocked. Out of bounds to Arkansas.
You could tell what's happened at halftime. Michael White went in and said, guys, the last 5 minutes against the Arkansas zone, we didn't get anything around the basket, nothing. All outside shots. And we're not a great outside shooting team. Got to figure out a way to get the ball inside. Egbunu now starting to exert himself in the lane. There's that matchup we've been talking about, those 2 big guys. Doug Sermons, the official, steps in, and kind of like a prize fight, you know. Kind of separates them.
In the heavyweight division.
That's it.
Shot clock at 6. Kingsley has to throw it up there. Finney Smith flying in for the board.
Finney Smith has done it all tonight, scoring inside, outside, rebounding.
Egbunu missed the follow-up slam, but he's fouled.
When
I believe that's on Kingsley.
My mistake, Mike, I'm sorry. When you penetrate and you force Kingsley 33 to leave Egbunu to come help on you as it goes on the backboard, nobody there to keep the big 6'11" Egbunu off the board.
We talked about foul trouble early with these 2 big guys. Kingsley just picked up his 3rd with nearly 17 minutes remaining.
Yeah, the Florida penetration here. It comes, watch 33. Leaves his man to go block the shot. Doesn't get the block. Look who's there. Egbunu right on the rim. Misses the dunk, but draws the foul.
Six-point lead for the Gators.
Good adjustments at halftime by Michael White, getting his offense to attack the rim more, something they did not do the last 5 minutes when Arkansas made their comeback and cut the lead to 2 points.
Probes the right side, hangs and hits the shot plus the foul. Hannes has been off the mark from 3, but can still penetrate.
And what you've got is 6'3" Hannes recognizing that he's going against a smaller guard in Chiozza. He just simply uses his size to rise up over the shorter guard, kisses it off the glass, and gets to the foul line. Smart play by the junior from Little Rock, Pulaski Academy.
Former Texas Tech Red Raider just got some revenge on his former school as Arkansas defeated the Red Raiders in the Big 12 SEC Challenge a few days ago. Hill working up top, finds Finney Smith on a 3. Hannes finds a cutting Bell, and there's Kingsley to clean it up.
Again, you see how Bell uses his curl move off the screen on the baseline. He curls into the lane to get that pass, and then he found the open player underneath for the layup for Arkansas.
12 points for Kingsley. A 2-point game.
Kingsley very active.
Allen slam from the baseline.
Hello, North Little Rock, Arkansas. K. Von Allen with the jam.
Two-time Arkansas Player of the Year. And Hannes whistled for the travel.
Well, the freshman from North Little Rock playing for the Gators takes it on the dribble, rises up, ladies and gentlemen, and plays a little stufferino.
Pickup! When they shoot the ball, we need 5 guys in there. 3 guys fighting, 2 guys cherry picking. Talk early, talk loud. Do your job, block out and rebound the ball. Keep that thing high, stay on the attack. Stay on the attack, under control offensively.
An 8 pickup, Joe Dean Jr. An 8 pickup.
That's my favorite line. You read my mind. How about tough acts to follow? Coaches who have followed legends. Mike White doing it now at Florida. Joe B. Hall won a national championship after he followed the legendary Adolph Rupp. David Hobbs, Wimp Sanderson was a very tough act to follow with 6 NCAA Sweet 16s. Don DeVoe, the great Ray Mears, you see there, got the Vols to a Sweet 16. And Tubby Smith, of course, won the national championship when he followed Rick Pitino. So it's hard sometimes to follow those legends.
Bruno has been hard to follow in the post. Right now, he's getting the better hand on Kingsley.
How about the play drawn up by Mike White at the timeout to get the dunk? Impressive penetration and 2-on-1 basketball.
And then Kingsley brought the ball down low and had it stripped. Hill gliding in the front court, feeds Egbunu, slam for the Gators, and Egbunu, who has 10. Timeout, Arkansas. And we will step aside. Deafening noise here in the O-Dome. Gators up by 8. Gators on a 12-4 run, leading it by 8, and a great stanza for Mr. John Egbunu.
He's come alive in the second half, Mike Morgan. Only 1 basket in the first half. He has 3 already in the second off nice penetration, passes by Casey Hill, and the finish finish at the rim, the big fella out of Nigeria, transfer from the University of South Florida, has come to life in the second half when the Gators need him.
Transfer is such a big part of college basketball in today's day and age. What a gem they got from South Florida. And you see what he's done in the second half to help spark the Gators' run here. Again, on a 12-4 run to start this second half, leading it by 8. Florida trying to improve to 6-3 in Southeastern Conference play, fresh off that big win over West Virginia.
And we've talked about the importance of this game for both teams and why so. Arkansas to try to steal a road win. They've had a hard time, Florida holding serve at home, but the Gators after tonight, they go to Kentucky on Saturday. So this game with that in mind really becomes very, very important for the Gators from a standpoint of being the home team. Arkansas certainly could really bolster their efforts if they could come to a place like this and pull off the road victory.
Bell on a leaner. Nice shot by Anthlon Bell, who continues to play well for the Razorbacks. In fact, he's got 13 one away from 1,000 points.
And Mike, when you think about most improved players in the SEC, Anthlon Bell would be on that list, as also Moses Kingsley, two Arkansas players really developing under Mike Anderson.
Yeah, two great choices. Deontay Maton of Georgia, of course.
Yeah, he may be the best one.
Be right there near the top, if not at it. Bell on a curl, and there's 1,001.
Yeah, he's done that all night long. He gets that screen on the weak side of the floor, and his man is trailing him. When that happens, he just curls right to the lane, gets the ball, lays it in. Nice execution by Anthlon Bell.
15 points for the senior as Allen loads up a 3. And Arkansas clears it. Floats an air ball up. Offensive rebound though to the Razorbacks. Beard on a 3. Too strong. Tapped out of bounds. Arkansas ball.
Yeah, watch the screen right here. See the trail? 11 is the trail defender against Bell. That was Chiozza, and Bell recognized that, knew the guy was trailing him, curled into the lane, got the pass, and laid it off the banking board.
Anthlon Bell now puts his name in the record books at Arkansas. Almost a 5 count for Watkins. Beard in traffic. And Florida corrals it in the corner. 4-point game.
Florida needs to start going back to attacking in the lane, not settling for outside shots. There it is.
Right on cue, partner Justin Leon. And then a turnover on Arkansas. Well, tonight at 11 o'clock, boy, there's plenty of things to talk about on the SEC ESPN network, on SEC Now, college basketball, and of course National Signing Day. Several SEC schools enjoying a great day at the office. Several of the top 25 recruiting classes hailing from the Southeastern Conference.
I tell you, I really enjoyed watching the recruiting coverage this morning on several of our ESPN networks. It was a lot of fun watching those kids make their announcements and put the hats on, and I just think it's a special day for those guys.
Arkansas off the turnover. Will try to cut it to 3. Can't do it there. And a foul from behind by Chiozza. This was Hayes on the other end. Looked like he got hit in the face.
Yeah, right here on the pass inside. Yeah, it looked like he got scraped by Jimmy Witt. And got the ball to Arkansas the other way. I tell you what, this is a physical game. Two teams that have strong guys, very athletic. And that ball goes up on the backboard. A lot of big bodies going after it.
Beard up top to Thompson, and the return to Beard. This is Witt with 10 to shoot. Around the screen. Baseline jumper is true. Keaton Miles with his first basket.
Wow, what a big shot right there by Keaton Miles, a guy who started a lot here for the Razorbacks, but has not really been productive offensively. Only a 35% shooter overall, but big one right there on the baseline.
Chiozza went right into a double team and then lost it and fouled. Or maybe the foul is on Arkansas. We'll clear it up when we come back. Gators up by 4. .11:39 to go here in Gainesville. The Gators in a tight affair with the Razorbacks up by 4. One of the banners hanging up here in the O'Connell Center, 1994. That team was actually led by Lon Kruger, Demeet Hook, Dan Cross, Craig Brown, Andrew DeClerc. And of course, the Gators would wind up eventually losing. The team that won it all that year was led by that man, Scotty Thurman, the 1994 National Championship team. Joe Dean Jr., you alluded to 40 Minutes of Hell, Nolan Richardson and company. You and I have seen a lot of great teams come out of this conference over the years. That certainly was one of the best and one of the deepest.
Yeah, they were incredibly deep and talented. Corliss Williamson, the leader. Corey Beck, the tough point guard. But Scotty Thurman, the Ruston Rifle, made the big three-point shot late in that game to knock off the Duke Blue Devils for the 1994 National Championship, coached by Nolan Richardson, assisted by Mike Anderson. And there's the Ruston Rifle. Scotty Thurman, now the color analyst for the radio network, and also works at the University of Arkansas as the director of player development.
Hit that three from the right wing from about 22 feet out. Says he can't go anywhere without people asking him about it to this day, 20-something years later.
I said, Scotty, you've been living off that shot your whole life. He said, yes, I have.
Witt on the turnaround jumper, can't hit it. Here's Hill gliding in the front court. Hill leaves it off, and a foul called as Kavarius Hayes gets bumped, the freshman from Live Oak, Florida.
I tell you what, Casey Hill has quietly done a nice job for the Gators. He's 3 of 6 tonight from the field, 2 rebounds, 8 points, 2 assists, and the last several minutes in the second half has gotten into the lane and created some easy opportunities for his big guys.
Hayes just 40% at the line this season. We've got more Friday Night Heights on the SEC ESPN Network. First at 7 Eastern, Bridget Sloan at number 1 Florida visit number 11 Georgia. Then at 8:30, number 8 Arkansas faces a tough test against Ashley Nat and number 6 LSU. Are we looking at a four-peat for the Gators in gymnastics, Joe?
I tell you what, they're ranked number 1 right now. They've won the national title 3 years in a row. But when you go to Stegman Coliseum in gymnastics, that's a tough out. We'll see. That'll be a great one.
I lean on you for all
the gymnastics. Yeah.
Every time.
I'm on it.
I know that you are a gymnastics diehard. Very exciting sport.
I tell you what, I think gymnasts arguably might be the best athletes in all of sports.
Razorbacks down by 6. Pull-up jump shot. Candace battling for it. Into the hands of Chiozza. Here come the Gators. Chiozza finding Finney Smith. And Finney Smith walked.
Good job defensively. Got a piece of that ball as Finney Smith went up for the jump shot. Arkansas again, quick feet, quick hands. Mike White not happy with the non-call right there. And let me say this in terms of the referees. This is a Final Four refereeing crew. All 3 of these officials, Pat Adams, Antonio Petty, and Doug Sermons, have officiated in a Final Four. As a matter of fact, 8 total Final Fours between these 3 officials.
Bucket for Arkansas closes the gap to within 3.
That's the first three-point basket tonight for Dusty Hannes, the 6'3" redshirt junior transfer from Texas Tech, who has just had a great year for the Razorbacks.
And Bunu in traffic, double team, needs a little help. They work it around. Hill hanging and got it.
Well, That was a case of very good defense by Arkansas on the trap. A little better offense. Dorian Finney-Smith comes over and saves Egbunu and then passes it to the other side of the floor where Casey Hill just nice into the lane, draws contact, and has the presence of mind to get the ball into the basket.
Can't finish the three-point play. It's a three-point game with another 10 minutes to play. Shot clock at 10. Beard's got to make something happen with 5. Step back, long 2. Missed it. And Thompson somehow got his paws on it, but could not corral it.
Got away with an over the back right there. Officials are letting them play.
Open 3 for Robinson. Kicks off the iron. Into the hands of the Razorbacks, off and running. Full throttle for Witt. Has it rejected out of bounds.
Well, I like the take by Jimmy Witt, the freshman. Good aggressive drive all the way to the basket. Just a little better defense right there by the Gators.
And that is our good hands play brought to you by Allstate.
Yeah, that's an excellent block by the guard, Casey Hill, on Jimmy Witt. Well done. Casey Hill's played well tonight. All facets of the game.
And Hannes with the bucket now with 14. He is heating up. 5-point game. Razorbacks have not won in this building since 1995. A little volleyball action into the hands of Hannes.
Florida kind of reverting back to what happened to them late in the first half, settling for jump shots.
And that's not their strength. Beard off balance. Boy, he still is just not in sync. And a foul on the floor as Hannes takes it to the deck and probes the right side.
I'm going to tell you something about Dusty Hannes. If you think he's just a shooter, you are mistaken. He's a tough kid, good first step, likes to take it on the dribble to the lane. He's got a big body, 6'3", right at 200 pounds. Now, he can shoot the 3, but he is a lot more complete player than just a shooter.
That's a great point. I just had him a few days ago against Texas Tech. He had 4 backdoor layups in that game. Speaking of backdoor cut, they try to get it there, but a turnover on Arkansas. Wait a minute. Doug Sermon says it hit Florida, and it will be Arkansas ball. Again, a veteran crew. Doug Sermon's had a better angle at it.
And that's what good officials do. They help each other out. Guy that has the better vision on a play like that. In that case, the baseline official, Doug Sermons. There he is. Saw that Kayvon Allen tipped that ball out.
Jake Bell, the SEC, here in attendance tonight.
Jake Bell, of course, the coordinator for SEC men's basketball official, does a tremendous job.
And a good chance to catch up with Jake and J.D. Collins back in Charlotte, SEC Media Days, doing a great job of keeping everybody informed. Gators get it back. Shot clock did not reset. It's down to 10. Now to 5 for Chiozza. Shake and bake. Pull up from 16. Bullseye! Chiozza with a clutch jumper. He's got 10. And a foul down low on Florida. Action getting hot and heavy in Gainesville. Gators up 5. Well, we talked about the significance of this game for both teams at the top of the Florida Gators starting to really make some noise now. Big win over West Virginia. Conference right now 5-3. Got off to a slow start. That's why they're not nationally ranked. Those 7 losses at the top. But Joe, the rest of the resume looks awfully strong. BPI, RPI, number 20. Our man Joe Lunardi has them projected as a number 8 seed. Couple of quality wins, no bad losses. Right now, there's a lot of things to like about this Gator squad.
And what will resonate with the selection committee is their strength strength of schedule is number 8 in the country. They've played Purdue, Miami, at Michigan State, Oklahoma State, Florida State. You mentioned the quality win on Saturday over West Virginia. This Florida Gator team has taken on all comers. They've lost a lot of close games, lost by 6 points at Michigan State, by 2 at Texas A&M, by 1 at Vanderbilt. Obviously a tough place to play. So this is a good Gator team that's been very, very competitive all year.
Anna's tried to draw the foul, could not get the whistle. Chiozza whips it into the corner. The Gators have been cold from 3, and that ice-cold streak continues. 0 for the last 10 now from downtown for Florida.
And again, Michael White, I'm sure at the timeout, talked to his team about penetrating on the dribble. Get inside of the defense to the lane, find Egbunu, find Devin Robinson, get some opportunities at the backboard.
Durham got away with it. Nope, he did not get away with a walk. Back official Doug Sermons caught it. As you see what the Gators have, that is a brutal stretch of games. I mean, my goodness, 2 against Kentucky, 1 at South Carolina, 1 at LSU. Those are RPI builders, but they can also destroy your record if you're not careful.
Well, no question about it. They have got some great opportunities right there on that list, but not going to be easy. They also have to go to Georgia, which is always a tough out. This is a big rivalry between Florida and Georgia. And of course, Georgia starting to come on with the big win last night at home against South Carolina.
This is another 3 for Florida, and finally the Gators hit, snapping an 0 for 10 drought.
Chiozza's had the last 5 points on step-back jump shots. That one a 3, coming at a crucial time for the Gators.
And a steal by Finney-Smith. Finney-Smith feeling it. And now the Gators are heating up from 3. 20 points for the senior out of Portsmouth, Virginia. Kingsley out to Bell on a 3. Silencer.
Great inside-out action by Arkansas. Kingsley felt the double team coming from Bell's man, kicked it right back out. That's the best time to shoot a 3 on the inside-out pass, and Bell knocked it down.
18 for Bell. Arkansas needed that in the worst way. Egbunu. Kingsley bumped and fouled by Egbunu. Florida had missed 10 in a row from downtown before this step-back 3 from Chiozza. And then Dorian Finney-Smith from the corner. Now you miss 10 in a row, you hit 2. And speaking of a guy who knows the thing about three-point shooting, Lee Humphrey, still an NCAA tournament record, 47 threes. Sometimes people forget about Humphrey. Those back-to-back national championship teams with Noah and Horford and Green and Brewer. He was so instrumental, hit so many big shots in those 2 championship runs.
You know, he's like the guy that always played alongside Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan was in the NBA, he always had a great shooter on his right or his left because he knew he was going to get double teamed a lot. Right. He wanted to throw it to a guy who could make shots, and that's what Lee Humphreys was, because he played with 4 NBA caliber players, but he was always open making those threes.
He was your Paxson, your Steve Kerr. A technical foul meanwhile on Kingsley. And you see Allen toe the line for a pair. Let's take another look at what happened here.
Yeah.
He must have said something. You certainly didn't see anything there.
Yeah, obviously he said something. Can't touch the official. Don't do that. Unfortunate. Bad time with 4:51 to play. You're down 10 and you give away 2 free points and the basketball. And they're going to take Kingsley out, put Trey Thompson back in. Kayvon Allen, 86% foul shooter from North Little Rock, Arkansas, made those 2 technical shots.
He's getting a little bit chippy here, and now a foul, a hold on the inbounds. And that'll send Arkansas to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. That is the 17th foul on the Gators. The 3rd foul on Chiozza. Anthlon Bell, an 80% free throw shooter. He has single-handedly kept Arkansas in this game. Ten-point lead, 20 points for Bell.
Bell has led the Razorbacks in three-point shooting 3 straight years. He's going to make it 4 again this year. That's quite an accomplishment.
And now an offensive foul. Egbunu just got frustrated and gave Thompson an elbow. Things are getting really chippy here in the O'Connell Center. Thursday, we've got 2 blue-chip women's games on the SEC ESPN Network. At 7 Eastern, it's Kentucky squaring off against the number 2 ranked Gamecocks. Then at 9, the Bulldogs in a battle with LSU at the Maravich Center.
And don't forget, huge game Monday night in women's basketball. The University of Connecticut national championship team is going to play South Carolina. Number 1 against number 2. UConn, South Carolina, Monday night.
Right now, they're at the monitor, the officials are, to make sure that if we have a flagrant situation, anytime there's an elbow involved, you can count on the officials going to the monitor and checking out if there was any malicious intent. I didn't think it initially it rose to the level of flagrant. There's no question it was a little bit of a frustration move on Egbunu's part, as we'll take another look here, Joe.
Yeah, right at the top of the key, the elbow right there into the chest. And I tell you, that looked intentional to me. We'll see what happens. They're gonna call it a basketball play. Yeah, Doug Sermon just told us that it was a common foul. He felt like he was just trying to kind of get away from the defender. But he definitely reached back and popped him.
Beard on a 3 off the front iron. 10-point game, under 5 minutes to go here at the O'Connell Center in Gainesville, as Chiozza gets bumped and fouled by Bell. And that'll send him to the free throw line. Both teams will have the benefit of the bonus for the final 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
And when you have 2 physical teams like this that are very athletic in a crucial game for both, the officials now, as it gets a little bit chippy, had a couple of technicals, are tightening up their calls and going to make these guys keep their hands off and play a much cleaner defensive game.
Knocks down the front end.
Chris Chiozza is from Memphis, Tennessee, White Station High School. Had a good season, 95 assists coming into tonight and only 32 turnovers, and that's 3rd in the SEC.
You'll appreciate this one, Coach. Gators at the line tonight, 19 of 20.
How about that? I do appreciate that.
Free throw shooting sometimes a lost art in the game of basketball, and really the Gators came in just 63% as a team, so they're kind of playing out of character in that respect.
Players don't work on free throw shooting as much as they should in the off season. And you know, the guy who really is the most impressive to me in that area is Kevin Punter, who told us he shot 100, 200 free throws a day this summer as he was changing his shot. And all he's doing is averaging 23 points a game this year.
Having a remarkable season in Knoxville. Gators enjoying their largest lead. And now a foul on Florida will send the Razorbacks to the line. It's a 3rd foul on Rimmer.
Well, there's no question that at the next media timeout, these coaches need to tell their players, these officials are tightening things up and are going to call it closer. We have to adjust. Move your feet, keep your hands off, block out, be solid, because a touch foul is going to be called.
Back to a 10-point game. Chiozza hounded by Beard. Now it's Hannah's turn. Finney Smith Gators exhibiting a little patience on offense here. Finney Smith, short corner, left it short. Here comes Beer. Anna's tried to rifle it down low, and a reach-in foul. That would be the 4th on Rimmer. 10-point game from Gainesville, Florida.
Good decisions, under control, keep pushing the ball. The reason you're in transition is because you've got stops, and we beat them to a couple loose balls. Our box out's got to be a lot more physical. We got to hold blockouts. Got to hold blockouts. You got to carve out space. You can't let them push you in the back. It's a big boy league. If we just move the ball and move our bodies like remember the open 3 Kayvon got? Just by moving it. Just move it, John. Keep ducking in. Move the ball against their zone.
Well, my favorite line right there was, "It's a big boy league." I like that. Is it ever a big boy league? Michael White played in this league for 4 years at Ole Miss, and he's basically telling these guys, you got to hustle, you got to sprint down the floor, block out, battle for rebounds, and move the basketball to get the open shots.
Played 4 NCAA tournaments as a player under the direction of Rob Barnes, Rob Evans. Such an advantage, Joe, when you are a coach in this league for the first time, but your familiarity with the league stems from the fact you actually played in it.
No question. And, of course, even at Louisiana Tech, those programs play the big schools, the Power 5 schools. So, you know, he had a great run at La Tech. 3, as you mentioned, Mike, 3 Conference USA championships, over 100 victories.
Chioza loves that step back, and Egbunu loves offensive rebounds. He has been dominating the glass and draws a foul here.
It's interesting, Egbunu and Moses Kingsley, 2 guys that we've talked a lot about tonight going head-to-head, both with 12 points, both with about the same number of rebounds. And Egbunu didn't play but about 5 minutes in that first half. I think Michael White was trying to send him a little message tonight. I don't think there's any question about it. And he's come back strong in the second half.
I was going to say message delivered. He's got 13 points since that long rest on the bench to start the game.
As a wise old coach told me one time, the greatest motivator in basketball is the bench.
Arkansas trying to find an open look. Annas to Bell. Now to Beer, the 10 to shoot. Beer inside. Kingsley gets his own rebound and gets the shot as the buzzer sounds.
You see how active Kingsley is. Big body, knew he missed it and ran over and got the offensive board, and just a tough jump hook for the Hogs.
Excuse me, Joe, almost a turnover there as Bell deflected the pass. And then Bell on a blocking foul. That's his 4th.
Now watch Moses Kingsley work inside. Misses the first one, runs over and gets that offensive board, and right at the shot clock buzzer, knocks down the tough jump hook under pressure. Moses Kingsley is just having a tremendous season for the Razorbacks this year. Again, over 16 points a game and almost 10 rebounds a game. One of the most improved players in the league.
Durham checks back in for Arkansas. Getting to that point, if you're the Razorbacks, you can't trade buckets, or in this case, free throws. The Gators have been hitting their free throws tonight. Arkansas has got to get on a run here soon. As soon as I say that, free throw is off the mark.
It always happens. It's amazing. The broadcaster's jinx. I don't know how to explain it.
I always like to think if I had that kind of power, I'd use it in less nefarious ways.
Well, you'd be on Wall Street.
Absolutely.
That's where you'd be.
Would have bought that Powerball ticket.
That's right. That's right.
Another key turnover on Arkansas. Mike Anderson saying, what are you doing?
Well, Florida's going to spread the floor now. The clock is their ally. They don't have to shoot quick. All they got to do now is protect the basketball get to the free throw line. They're in the double bonus and make foul shots, and they should get out of here with a hard-fought win.
Chiozza with 11 points. His career high is 15.
Tell you what, he made 2 big shots in the middle of this second half when Arkansas had cut the lead to 2. A step back 2-pointer and a step back 3-pointer.
Yeah.
That stretched the lead back out to 8.
I thought that step back 3 might have been the biggest shot of the game.
I agree.
At that point, Florida was in a rut. They've missed 10 straight threes. That was a real deflator if you're Arkansas. You hit that one. Bell drives the baseline. What a night for Anthlon Bell. 22 points for Bell.
Well, he's a good-looking player.
Egbunu. Block foul. I thought they bleed some clock, but instead Egbunu put it into overdrive and right into the chest of Moses Kingsley.
Well, when you teach that attack mode, it's hard to pull back. And right here, Egbunu sees the lane right there. He knows he's going to get hit. Takes it strong, and only a 54% foul shooter. So don't know maybe if it would have been smarter to kick it back out, but we'll see if he can make these foul shots.
That is the 5th foul on Kingsley. If you're Arkansas, your best post player is out of the game. You just got to rely on your 3-point bombers for the final minute 26.
And that's the 4th time that Kingsley has fouled out this year. That matches John Egbunu, who's fouled out 4 times this year. Kingsley finishes with 15 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, a block. Pretty good night for the big fella.
Yeah, both Nigerian centers have played well tonight. Egbunu knocks down the first.
Right here, you see on the inbounds, yeah, Casey Hill in the lane just slipped down right there.
Hit the deck pretty hard. And there's another player, Finney Smith, just slipped nearly in the same spot. And meanwhile, Hannes hits a 3. It's the only way Arkansas can get back in it. That cuts it to 6.
2-possession game right now. See if Mike Anderson chooses to foul.
Hill just slipped again.
Yeah, there's water on the floor.
Got to dry up this floor. We've had 3 players slip and fall in the last 30 seconds. Hill twice and Finney Smith once, both slipping and falling on the near side here. The Gators front court. Watch Finney Smith here.
Yeah, just totally slipped. Obviously wet right there. Pat Adams, the official, blew the play dead, and have the Gator ball boys over here whopping it up.
And then this was right near the same spot. Watch Hill. Right, same spot.
Yep.
Sniper got him. We had everybody on ice skates here at the O'Connell Center for a moment.
You see the mask on Casey Hill. He broke his nose in the West Virginia game on Saturday. Tough kid. Puts the mask on, and here he goes.
2-possession game as we near the 1-minute mark. Finney Smith back out to Chiozza. They might as well play straight up now with a shot clock under 10.
Exactly.
Chiozza behind the back. Alley-oop pass! Oh my goodness! Sports Center top 10 nominee.
No doubt about that.
Beard with a silencer and a timeout for Arkansas.
Well, Chris Chiozza, the quickness, ball handling talent to split a double team and get into the lane. Here he comes, right between the 2 players, behind the back.
Whoa.
Throws it to the rim and flushes it as Devin Robinson.
How in the world did he get this ball through? Look at that.
Antoine Beard kind of stopped instead of pushing him down the lane, and that's allowed him to get it behind his back, bring the help to him, and then when you just throw it at the rim, the 6'8" Robinson, great athlete, got up there and finished the play.
That is Harlem Globetrotter stuff. Meanwhile, they're double checking that last Arkansas basket was a 3 or not. As we watch, right foot is definitely good. I'm looking at the left foot, and the left foot, and that's about as close as you can get.
Yeah, it looked like he was on the line. Kingsley is out with 5 fouls. No quit in these Arkansas Razorbacks. They've hung in here all night on the road against a very good Florida team.
See Doug Sermon signaling it. They're going to keep it a 3, which would keep it a 5-point game. 37.6 on the clock. Both teams in the double bonus. Possession arrow favoring Arkansas. And you see the Razorbacks still have 2 timeouts left in their back pocket. This game is far from over.
Especially with Arkansas's ability to press effectively, trap the ball.
I think Arkansas wanted a carry on Chiozza. Chiozza was dribbling right down the far side.
It looked like that Arkansas did not want to foul Chiozza. Mike Anderson is telling the officials he thought that Allen carried the ball.
Honestly, I thought it was Chiozza.
Chiozza, I'm sorry.
That was dribbling down there. It looked like it might have been a carry. I think Mike Anderson's got a legitimate beef. As Allen lines up the first of 2. Watch this dribble by Chiozza. Watch the right hand. And see, turns it up and over.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike.
Yep.
I think Mike Anderson definitely had a legitimate concern there. Officials don't really want to call that,
right?
Especially in this situation in the game. But
oh my goodness, Hannas with a hand in his face knocks down the 3. We're not going anywhere yet.
Hannas was 0 for his first 5. 0 for his first 5 and has now knocked down his last 2. Can really shoot the ball. Young man from Little Rock, went to Texas Tech. Transferred back now to Arkansas and really doing a great job this year, averaging a little over 16 a game.
This is why we love conference basketball, particularly now in the month of February, because you just never know. Both these teams have given everything tonight. At times, Arkansas looked like they were dead and buried. But when you're able to shoot the 3 ball as well as they do, when you're able to force turnovers with that full court pressure, you're really never out of the game, are you?
No, you're really not. And they're getting better and better now out of the timeout. They've got to deny all passing lanes, try to create a steal on the inbounds. Once it comes in, one quick trap, and if they don't get the steal out of the trap, got to put Florida back on the foul line.
Chiozza is going to inbound it. What did we watch today when we came to shoot around? Gators going over
out of bounds plays.
Out of bounds plays.
And their press attack. They worked on this extensively this morning in the shoot around in Florida this afternoon, actually.
Very important part of the game. They get it into Finney Smith. He's fouled by Beard. The one good thing about that play, if you're going to foul, do it quickly.
Right. Finney Smith's a 71% foul shooter. A little surprised they didn't try to get Kayvon Allen the basketball there, who's 86%. But nevertheless, here's your senior, your leader, all SEC performer.
Finney Smith 1 rebound shy of his 4th consecutive double-double. Last Gator to even get 3 in a row was Chandler Parsons. 21 points now. Make it 22. Razorbacks will be on the hunt for a quick 3. Or a quick 2. You'll take that. You'll certainly take a foul. Gives you 2 free throws, and it stops the clock at 17 and a half.
You don't ever want to foul when you're ahead and allow your opponent to score with the clock stopped. Mike White knows that.
You had that look a few times, right, Joe Dean Jr.?
More than a few. I tell you what, coaching can be so frustrating sometimes. I watched Louisville and North Carolina the other night, and Rick Pitino ran down to midcourt and hollered at one of his players, "What are you doing?" That's what you do when you're a coach. Arkansas still in it. Yep.
Continues with 24. It's a 4-point game. Well, they got him trapped. Great opportunity. Arkansas could not capitalize, and now you got to foul Chiozza with 12 seconds left. But that's exactly where you want the ball.
No question.
If you've got a full court press right there in the coffin corner.
They got him in the corner. They got the trap, and Mike Anderson's mad because he thought they should have intercepted the pass out of the trap. They weren't ever able to get it, and Beard now fouls out, having put Chris Chiozza on the foul line.
Don't forget, following our broadcast tonight here in Gainesville, we'll take you to Ole Miss and Missouri. Crowd offers silence for Chiozza, who cannot connect. You know, Arkansas's got one timeout left. Sometimes it's where I wish they had the rule where you call a timeout and get it to front court.
At half court, and you know you can do that now in women's basketball. Right. And I love that rule. I really do.
Need a three, and you need it quickly. And Durham provides it with 6.5 to go. There's the timeout. Game is far from over. Boy, it's a lot of fun when you're a team that can shoot 42% from downtown. Arkansas leading the SEC in that category. That has kept them in it tonight.
And you make your last three, and there's the, I don't know why they're not guarding him. I mean, he's having a career night. Antoine Bell, one of the top three-point shooters in the SEC and in the country. But Arkansas has made their last three. No quit in the Mike Anderson team. And here comes the full court pressure. Deny the basketball. Once it comes in, you got to foul immediately. Hang on, Stephon Moody. We're coming to you.
No doubt Moody will put on another great show later tonight, as he always does. This has been a great ball game. 2-point game. Arkansas hasn't won in this building since 1995. Mike White, former Ole Miss Rebel, trying to pick another win at home. The Gators have been so good here in the Federal Confines. The O'Connell Center. You try to avoid that letdown. You get the big win over West Virginia. Everybody's telling you, Joe, how great you are. And then you play Arkansas. And even though Arkansas is a good team, their record not so impressive. This was a dangerous game, and Florida trying to survive it.
Well, when you and I talked to Michael White after the shoot-around this afternoon, we said, what about this game? And he said exactly that. He was worried about the hangover, the letdown after the great performance against West Virginia. And he said, you know, Arkansas scares me to death.
Yes.
And you can understand why. They made 10 out of 23s here tonight. That man right there can flat-out coach, and he knew that he had his hands full tonight in this game against the Razorbacks.
Chiozza will be the trigger man again on the inbounds. It's another spot that's been problematic. It's where Hill fell down the first time.
And I'll tell you something, you've got your smallest player throwing the ball in bounds. Chiozza's trying to get it over Bell.
And they have to call a timeout. They got to about 4 seconds.
You know, I don't like to coach other people's teams, but it's like.
But you will in this case.
It's like a small quarterback in the pocket that can't see over the line.
Right.
You know, and that's what you've got. See, this Bell 6'4" and jumping up and down against the 6-foot Chiozza. He can't see well enough to get the ball in bounds, and the Arkansas pressure getting the job done right there.
You do get to roam the baseline because it's after a made basket, which gives you a little bit of advantage.
But you don't now. After the timeout.
Great point.
He's got to stay stationary this time. And it wouldn't surprise me if I'm Arkansas to get, I'm coaching these teams now. I don't mean to do that, but I'd get a 6, 9, or 10 guy up on the ball right now.
We'll see if Coach White makes an adjustment. Gators up by 2. Again, we talked about the importance of this game. You cannot afford to start losing games at home if you're the Gators. They've got a brutal road schedule still left right now. So many things looking good on the resume. They want to keep it going. Chiozza again will be the trigger man. Again, will Inbounded and almost a steal by Durham. It looked like he got his fingertips on it, but could not come away with it.
Well, give Kayvon Allen a lot of credit right there, because Chiozza was struggling to find somebody open, and he finally broke free right at the end of the 5 count to get open. He held off Durham, and now you got an 86% foul shooter going to the line for Florida to try to ice this game.
Allen, just a freshman, but silky smooth touch and ice water running through that young man's veins. This is the big one right here. He got it. 2-possession game. Durham gonna launch, tries to make contact. No call. Gators hold on and survive at home. 87-83 your final score. Gators improved to 6-3 in conference. For Joe Dean Jr. and our entire crew, Mike Morgan saying so long from Gainesville. Let's send you to Columbia, Missouri, and Ole Miss are coming up next.